I say very big words. My words are very large. They're the finest words you'll ever find. Fucking hate Donald Trump.
Okay, so should we...
Let's make this
He's a very
again.
funny man. I'll give him that.
Yeah, it's like, but it's so fucking concerning that most of us are like, look at the fucking dumb thing the orange man said, and then the other half of the country's like, yeah, what the orange man said. Elect him. Make him the guy that's in charge of us all.
Well, and then there's the people that are like the lesser of two evils and all that shit. And it's just like... It's too much for me, man. I'm just so disinterested.
I don't know if I want to vote, but also, like, I can't trust the other half of the country to not vote for this fucking Cheeto. Like, what?
All right. Let's get to it. All right.
Does the 3 claps help? I hope it does.
We can do it again if you need.
Leave that in.
It'll help me in the editing. All right.
Excellent.
So once again, welcome back to probably the 55 viewers who watched this week.
55. Our numbers are insane.
Well,
shout out to our 6 subscribers.
If we re-release Morbius, they will all listen to this podcast, then go watch Morbius. So that's 55 more people that didn't watch Morbius.
Oh, that's genius.
So actually, the traction we've gotten is because I put them up on YouTube.
Yeah, let's fucking go.
Before that, I was just putting them up on Buzzsprout, which is just a hosting podcasting site where you can listen on Spotify, Apple, wherever.
Now, do we have an Instagram page?
Yes.
What's the Twitter handle?
Isano Monjo.
Got to rebrand.
Well,
we're going to have to delete all these accounts, rebrand.
Oh, I see.
For when someone else has a podcast called Den of Otakus, it's going to really pop off then.
Well, no, I made sure, like, Isano's Den of Otakus is like, there's Den of Geeks, there's Den of Culture, there's Den of, like, there's Den of.
Man, Den of Culture was such a better name. It's a shame it got taken.
It was
Den of Culture.
So there was already all these Den of, so I was like, just make it fucking Isano's Den of Otakus. At that point, they can't say I stole it, because, like, I did steal Den of, but, like, at that point, they can't specifically be like Anime News Network. Like, you know, we can't call ourselves that because there's already an established site that name.
Just
whatever.
Call it Isano's Anime News Network.
That's still stealing, though.
No, it's not. You can't trademark that.
I feel like Den of is pretty broad that they can't be like, I don't know, you stole my... Like, I did, but it's to kind of say like, hey, I had nothing else.
Admits to stealing. Like, what are we doing?
Editor, take that out and post.
Maybe.
Remove that.
Well, all right, so 7th episode. Today we don't have a topic for you, but we want to update you on what we've all been watching. But before that, we have only a couple news stories this week because we vetoed a lot of it.
We can talk a lot about Arcane.
So let's just get the first one out of the way. The ones I know you guys we're gonna treat this one like we've been treating.
Dude, I literally sent this to you, and we both sent it to each other at the same fucking time. Like, I'm interested in this,
but I feel like we're gonna treat it like we were treating like we treated Solo Leveling, like we were treating what's the current 2 we're watching right now?
What, Ranger and Kaiju number 8?
Yeah. So I feel like we'll all watch it and we'll be like, what is this?
This is Katana.
Do you see my...
Yo, if they don't have a This Is Katana reference, I'm mad.
But shove it into the ground. That needs to be in there.
I don't want to watch the trailers because Western trailers tend to give out way too much information, so then you know the whole plot. But yeah, basically all I want to say here is...
This is just the same trailer, isn't it?
Well, this is the same trailer we sent each other, but...
We can watch it. I don't think there's anything to...
No, actually, this might be updated because it has the premieres June 27th, so that's what I actually wanted to say.
I don't think it has anything in it because I think I watched the whole thing and I had like no idea what was going on. I mean, you got Harley, you got Joker, you got some fucking dudes.
Was that Agent Fowler?
That was
King Shark, Harley, Katana is in there, John Cena,
Peacemaker.
This is Katana. So yeah, premieres.
This is Katana.
You know who should be paying us? Fucking Warner Brothers for like, because I'm a big DC.
This?
Yeah, I'm a big DC fan. Like, I like DC better than Marvel, so they better be paying me at some point.
Okay, random thought that just popped into my head.
Sure, I love those.
Why is this called Suicide Squad Isekai?
Because they want to let the Westerners know this is an Isekai.
If they
we
literally
need to be to the point,
if they attached Isekai to it just so that way we'll bring in that anime crowd, I'm mad.
I'm pretty sure that's also what it is.
That's probably why they're like, well, okay, this is the story. Let's just put Isekai in there.
Nobody hit anybody with a truck. Nobody jumped in front of a slow-moving tractor and died because of shock.
They just went into through a portal or something.
Yeah, probably.
Let's put them in the Isekai world.
Put them in the portal.
Yo, quick sidebar. What's that lower left-hand corner video? Just hover over it.
This one?
Gigi, is that Harem?
Yeah. Yep.
No, I'm good.
All
Never
right.
mind.
Are you sure?
Continue.
Okay, so is this the teaser trailer or is this the
How long is it?
minute 30?
Yeah, that's the newest trailer.
That's the extended one?
Yeah, it comes from the League of Legends.
Okay, well, to finish this one off, do you guys want to watch the first 3 episodes on Hulu and Max, June 27th?
Absolutely.
I'll give it a go.
This
Fuck
is
it.
Katana.
It looks
This is Katana.
okay. As much as me and you, Salem, Baker.
Yes, Wyatt.
Oh, don't do that.
Oh no. Oh, continue, Wyatt. I'm listening to you. What's
as
up?
much as we're not into Western properties normally,
Yeah.
it actually looks pretty decent.
Yeah, no,
It's
like the animation looks fine.
Got a good art style to it.
It's
Yeah.
Cloverworks and
Cloverworks does bangers.
Cloverworks and another one. So
If we sit down together, I'll watch it.
okay.
I'm gonna tie you to a chair and turn it on and leave.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It also says that episodes will then debut weekly, and I think there's only going to be 10 episodes, which is pretty. I think that's the standard in Western media, is like 10 episodes.
Usually, honestly, it's a fucking Wild West of how many episodes.
True. Sometimes you get 10, sometimes you get fucking 32 for whatever reason. Okay, so Arcane season 2.
Yes, let's go.
We're gonna talk about this for a while. Strap in.
Ooh, that's a good looking mask right there.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so I know the 3 scopes looks dumb.
I'll buy it.
Caitlyn has that on her gun in game.
I'll buy it.
So, do you like her big dumb fist?
Oh,
I
Vice? Yeah, I do.
Yes, just if this wasn't a property that I was invested in the game, I'd probably hate the big dumb fist.
But don't you said you weren't going back to League though, right?
No, I mean I'm out for the foreseeable future. I do appreciate that they're using the characters from season 1, like that guy.
Oh yeah, he was one of the Chem Barons, right?
Yep.
Hey, it's the dude with the hair.
There's a really good moment at the end of this trailer. I don't want to talk while it happens.
You should make lots of commentary.
This right here.
I hate you.
No, Jose hates it.
Oh yeah, yeah. He,
It's
just right there, he's like, yeah, no, I hate
It's a
Jinx.
Harley ripoff.
No, I hate Jinx. I don't like Jinx. But I like everything else.
So, do you have questions? I would love to answer.
Just from that, not really. I mean, we're just progressing along with the story. I mean, I'm just waiting to watch it.
You like Vi and her Enforcer outfit?
It's not bad.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
So a lot of people that are Arcane only and not League of Legends players, totally fine. Don't get yourself in there. Are talking about how like Vi looks unhappy wearing the Enforcer outfit, and like have other certain questions like Vi in the game was always a Piltover Enforcer, so this makes sense. This is canon. Caitlyn is now the spoilers for season 1 of Arcane. Now that Marcus died, the sheriff, the sheriff Piltover. Now Caitlyn takes over. She was originally the sheriff of Piltover. Had to have that build up in the story.
Yeah, sure.
The Chem Barons coming back are cool. I hope we get to see the big Chem Baron, which would be Urgot. He's the one that walks. He's like a spider
that's
crab
right. Yeah,
thing.
like his legs are not there. It's replaced by
He's always talked about like Chem Baron stuff when you play him in games, so it'd be cool to see him.
I mean, just the fact that the fucking, I assume to be a Yordle was one of the Chem Barons. If not some other like small species.
Yeah, it's probably a Yordle.
It's really nice that you see him in there, because it's like, I just assumed, no, he's gone. Like, he was there for that scene with Silco, and then just kind of off the map.
Yeah. To kind of follow up with this trailer for season 2, so we mentioned this Arcane spinoffs by Netflix. So what do you think will entail these spinoffs?
So,
because I read this article and it's just a bunch of, we're happy to explore the Arcane universe.
So the thing is, like, this will be the final season of Arcane.
Or V and Jinx. Is that what you said?
Vi and Jinx, yeah.
Yeah.
So it'll, like, this is kind of a contained portion of the universe. So you, the Piltover and Zon, you have these specific characters. I think what they're hinting at is that they're working on other parts of the same universe, where it's like you have Ionia with like Aurelia, Kennen, like that whole thing going on. Scion.
Are these like different continents?
Yeah, different continents, different places in the world.
Like the Shadow Isles. I'm really interested about what goes on there.
As much as I want it to be the Shadow Isles in the next whatever League of Legends thing that gets made, I don't think it will be. This was always the problem I had with like them making a World of Warcraft movie, is I felt like they had to pick their story to appeal to a wide audience. And I think Piltover and Zon was a great choice for season 1, because you have a lot of like humanoid characters, not a lot of like the weird stuff.
Do you think that helped ease in people?
Oh yeah, absolutely. But I feel like if you go straight Shadow Isles, like as much as you would like it,
I love Thresh's design so much. I really
Thresh,
do.
Hecarim, the headless horseman. Yeah, like there's a lot of weirdos.
Is Nautilus also part of the Shadow Isles?
I don't know if Nautilus is designated in a certain spot. They could add it. They could. I think Nautilus might be more bilge water.
So, wait, I have a question. So,
go on.
Seeing as how like this is a Western property with a lot of Chinese backing,
correct?
Like, do you think this is doing? Do you think this is doing very well for you, as in like story pumping it up to a bigger medium, rather than getting Velma? You know, like, hey, we want to revamp Scooby Doo and be transformative, and we get Velma.
So the conversation we were having before the podcast started was how I don't like Western media because it feels almost like soulless or heartless. Whereas like this, I feel like the team behind it was very passionate about like establishing a canon in the League lore and like straightening out some of those like loosely connected stories, because all you had before this was just like character descriptions and like information you could read on websites. I feel like someone is very passionate about making this a whole connected universe. Like that's when I like Western media, is when I can see some passion behind it. And I'm not going to say that like Eastern audience or Eastern people like always hit the mark. I feel like they do more percentage of the time than they miss. And I mean, I'll talk for days about how things I don't like miss the mark.
Yeah.
Maybe those are like the passion wasn't there.
Yeah, I mean, passion can only go so far though, right? Too, because you also have to have like the ability to make a story that is making sense and like, you know, sticks to whatever they're writing.
It's a lot of things falling into place. It's like you have to have a passionate person behind the project. You have to have the correct animation studio. You got to have like the budget to get it out there. Like
I think it always comes down to the big five, which is Sony, Disney, Warner, Paramount, and Universal. It always comes down to they're the ones that are probably going to distribute it somewhere, and then what are they going to say about it? Are they going to make you make cuts? Are they going to make you make changes? It's kind of like right now we don't know how Suicide Squad Isekai is going to turn out, but like did they let the people running the show do whatever they want, like hands off, or did they get notes?
Let them cook.
Exactly. Like we don't know what's going to happen in that show, but we'll watch it, and if it sucks, it sucks. If it doesn't, hey.
Like it's already wild enough, the premise of this show, right? Like the Isekai is a Suicide Squad, but like I just hope they let him just run wild. Like it's absurd enough. Just let him go for it, dude.
You guys know I'll never touch ReZero, but
it's so good.
But I did watch that writer's follow-up show, which was like Vivi, you know, the robot android
song,
yeah, I watched that. I really enjoyed it. I didn't think the story was that bad. It could have been better, but I didn't think it was as horrible as like that first episode of RE that I watched. And he's the same writer for this, so like
Subaru still had that bag of fucking ramen the entire time he got transported.
Yeah, and then he made a trade
it was
for
like
it too.
Fucking 3 episodes that motherfucker was still holding that bag.
I do enjoy that he was like trying to sell off his phone as like this magic image capturing device.
And then it ran out of battery, right? Or some dumb shit like that.
I don't think so. I think he ended up just selling it off because like he couldn't make phone calls, so he's just like, you know,
no mobile data on that thing.
So
yeah, he didn't have the 5G.
Nope.
5G is like
that gives you COVID.
You'll get the 5G COVID. So the way they say like, hey, we're upcoming characters would be focusing on upcoming spinoffs. The creator did mention how the franchise wants to go in a similar treatment to more champions that Jinx and B received. So you obviously said that this is what you want. That you want more of that, right?
I want you to say Vi instead of E.
Whatever.
I knew I could feel it from you, Schirm. I just
I saw his face.
But on a serious note, yes, I'm excited for what the future holds. Like I do want to see the end of Arcane, but I was also like beating the drum when Arcane came out, where I was like, this is fine. Like I really enjoy this, but man, you could have picked a different story that I would have been more into. Maybe not broader audiences, like the Freljord, Shadow Isles, Bilgewater, Ionia, like any of these Noxus. That's the other thing. I feel like we're going to Noxus next because there's connections with Mel and Mel's mom. Yeah. We could see like Darius, Riven, Draven. See a lot of cool characters.
As far as I remember watching the show with you, Schirm, as well. Like I'm pretty sure like Noxus was the only other like place they had like mentioned by name and stuff.
Pretty much, yeah.
So I mean, it makes sense if they went there.
Well, I can't wait, but they did take like what 4 or 5 years for season 2.
No, it was like think they announced that it was going to be 24 and it ended in 22. I think literally at the end of Arcane, like the last episode, they were like, all right, 2024, we'll be back.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's not that long.
But when did the show premiere?
It was probably...
Before COVID?
No, it was definitely after COVID.
Okay. Well, that's just to say...
Well, like, after COVID, meaning we were still in COVID, but like it was past the beginning of COVID.
I was just going to say, like, that's just to say, like, like, good thing, like, I watched it recently, because if I had watched it then and I had to go back, I would have been like, what the fuck? I have no idea what happened. All right, so Las Vegas Sphere, we're looking at this One Piece reaction. Apparently, this is going to go on for a week.
Let's go. It's the 25th anniversary.
Yeah, and so this is going to go on for a week. This is the animation they did for One Piece, and apparently Oda drew a bunch of designs so that they could use it for the Sphere.
It definitely looks like Oda's, like Luffy.
Yeah, this is definitely pre-time skip. I like these transitions. They're very like the Cartoon Network bumpers.
This isn't pre-time skip.
I just think the globe's cool.
Luffy has a scar and Jinbei's there. This is definitely post-time skip, but that doesn't. Yeah, I agree. It looks good. I mean, you have to remember.
Oh, that's like with the film wrapping around that.
Yeah, they did those reanimations on like some important scenes early, like for the might have been the 20th anniversary. I forget.
They also did those re-scenes for like during that summit where all those kings were at or whatever.
Oh, Reverie.
Yeah, the Reverie.
Maybe that's where they came from. I can't remember.
Yeah, because they remade a bunch of them because I was kind of looking at it and I think I went back to that specific episode just to be like, is this when they do that? And they did. That's when they do it. So that's the Sphere for you. You should check it out if you haven't seen it. It's pretty cool, but it's only going to last the whole week. And this is just to like celebrate the 25th anniversary of One Piece.
Yep.
Do you like it? To be continued?
Yeah.
To be continued for the next 25 years?
No, it won't last 25 years. Fucking, there's no way. Like, Oda's a machine, but that man ain't last another 25 years.
Well, here's something that has the One Piece remake being done by the same studio. I don't know how they're kind of chugging along, seeing as how they take on so many projects and their quality's still pretty decent.
We all heard about what happened with Mappa during JJK. Like,
yeah, but what I'm saying is like, I don't know how like no one comes out and like dogs these guys since they come out with so much anime. Like every season they at least have one or two. So
I don't know.
Spy Family season 3. You guys haven't watched the? Huh?
No, this is a joint, right? This is Wit, somebody else.
It's Wit. At least the first two parts were Wit and another one. I think Cloverworks. So Wit and Cloverworks did the first two parts. I think Wit did the first season. Cloverworks did the second season, and they did it together. But I really like the anime. I read the manga after the anime. Pretty good. There's a lot in there. It gets dark, especially for like kind of show this portrays on the outside. I kind of read into a little bit about the author himself too. He wanted to do like gritty kind of noir tale kind of manga.
Not seriously?
Yeah, but he was also a assistant for Fujimoto, Chainsaw Man author. But he's been kind of in the industry a little bit longer than Fujimoto, but I think he just kind of had to go back to the basics because like this author kind of wants to do like gritty like noir kind of stuff, and apparently that's not the look a lot of Japanese people go for. It's not really something that picks up steam unless it becomes great, and apparently his stuff just wasn't picking up steam. So they told him to kind of make a cute character and stuff like that, and he found success. And he's kind of talking.
He definitely did.
He's kind of talked about like he's not upset that he's found success because he made a cute character, but he just wishes it was a bit more gritty.
Oh, of course, yeah. I mean, if that was his vision, this definitely took a turn for sure.
But
what do you mean? Anya's a gritty character.
Oh yeah.
She can read people's minds.
Yeah.
But yeah, that now that you mention that seems so fucking out of left field. That we just have a telekinetic child.
Yeah, we have a fucking Yor who's just like grade A assassin. It's like, okay, that's
she's like triple platinum S level assassin.
She's she's trying to be a mom, she's trying to hold this family together.
And then
with her shitty cooking.
Lloyd.
And then you have Lloyd, yeah.
Master spy.
I love that he can just like put on like just fucking fake prosthetics and it's just, seamless. I love that shit.
Yeah, but have you guys watched this?
No.
I've seen bits and pieces.
Okay.
I know roughly.
Yeah, I've seen that fight scene where Lloyd fights Drunk Yor. That was pretty good.
Yeah, that's good.
And then you have Anya reads people's minds.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
What is Daddy
cute.
thinking about? What?
She's also very, very cute. Like, I do like how he writes her where she's not like overtly dumb. She tries her, like, this is just something you should guys watch at your own time.
Yeah.
Like the one we'll bring up later.
You see the star? That's the best she could accomplish.
Dude,
she tried her best.
I really
what a
love
weak child.
I really love the story. Like the story this spy family portrays is like a very interesting story. Like it kind of grips you in, but it's one of those where it's like in a bad written show or manga, you'd be like, God, fucking get on. Like you guys, ReZero, you wish Amelia and Subaru weren't there.
You deleted those two from that anime, I would be so much like I would enjoy it so much.
I just strictly want Subaru to be a different person,
right?
So yeah, that's like the thing. At a certain point, Subaru never grows as a character, or not enough in a quick enough fashion.
Like, I think Amelia's fine because she's just this like mega naive person who's like basically a candidate to like rule this fucking like land, and it's like that's fine. But Subaru, oh my god, he's a fucking whiner. He does not get social shit. It's just no.
So that's the
little
thing.
Bro might be a little acoustic.
It's possible. It's possible.
So I think that's what this does really well is like you get the Anya story, you get the Lloyd story, and you get the Yor story, and then sometimes you get all like the family story. So there's a lot of things being juggled at once, and then every now and then we go into like supplementary characters. Like we kind of go into some of their backstories, and you don't hate it. You're kind of like invested, or some of their backstories will be a joke, but you kind of like it. So I recommend that on your free time, you guys should watch this, and then we should talk about it as a review for one of these episodes.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't give it enough praise. I'm surprised you guys haven't gotten into it. The Lord of the Rings animated movie. Now, you guys were saying that you guys are unsure of your feelings for this right now.
So when we talked about this before, it's like I do love the trilogy. I think they're great movies. I'm literally always down to watch them at any point in time.
The original Peter Jackson trilogy?
Yes.
Oh.
Wait, you don't like The Hobbit?
How many times
What
are
are
you
the
gonna bring
five
this?
armies?
What are the five armies?
Well, they're the wild wolves, the
Goblins.
The most important, the wolves.
That's right.
Wait, was it elves and dwarves and humans?
Yeah, it should be.
Okay.
Yeah, C5. We got them.
And then
we
the
got 'em.
Hobbit, the Battle of the Six Armies.
What about the Eagles?
Oh, the Eagles could be considered.
Just for the listeners, we read an article because we looked up like what the fuck the Fifth Army was, and it was just giving us a bunch of different
That's always
options.
my question when people talk about the Hobbit is like, you remember the Battle of the Five Armies? What are they?
It's kind of important.
Because I can't even fucking remember half the time.
But like literally a buddy of mine, like we binged all three movies back to back one day like fucking crazy people.
So it was
a
like
great ass time.
12 hours.
Yeah, it was a good ass time.
I've said it before, I'll say it again. I understand that they're good movies.
Yeah.
I don't get the hype.
Really? Oh.
So do you just not enjoy them?
He was
No, they're fun. Like I sat there.
he doesn't
and
blaze them like we do. He doesn't
yeah,
think
Okay,
they're
fair enough. I just wanted to make sure I understood like where you were sitting
No,
on that.
I just
so.
He thinks the Dark Knight trilogy's better.
Wrong. I think The Dark Knight, the movie, is good. The other two are pale comparisons.
Yeah, The Dark Knight is an amazing movie. But if you took Batman out of that, it's just a crazy guy just going around in a suit.
No, I think Heath Ledger could carry that movie by himself.
No, I'm saying like realistically, yeah, you could have a crazy guy running around intimidating mob people in clown makeup, but I'm saying the guy who would trying to stop him would be some dude in black leather going around like punching people in his tank.
I don't wear hockey pads.
I think because it's just such a grounded premise that I think if I was watching the news like, yeah, so Batman beat up a couple guys again tonight, I'd be like, who the fuck is letting this guy run around? Why don't the police stop this dude?
I mean, that's the whole fucking thing behind Spider-Man, right? It's just J. Jonah Jameson whipping people into a frenzy. They're like, look at this guy. He's a menace. He just beats up people on the street and leaves them for the cops.
That's so funny. But I think I don't know about Spider-Man, but I know
anyway, back to Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, Lord of the Rings animated movie. What is that title? The War of Rohirrim?
Sure.
I'm not going to attempt to pronounce that.
There's no IR on the end.
Fucking Tolkien can't even.
You don't even know if it is Tolkien.
No,
might be
fucking no.
else.
I'm saying fucking Tolkien and his fucking made up names. Like I can never pronounce anything correctly.
Fucking Yggdrasil. What a terrible name.
Yggdrasil. Yes.
The World Tree?
Jormungandr. I can say that.
Jormungandr, yeah.
So, what do you think of the
Sleipnir.
first female dual protagonist? I don't know if she'll be the protagonist. Apparently, she might be, but I don't know. It reminds me of the Frieren Master a little bit.
Flamme.
Yeah, Flamme.
I guess, yeah.
I mean, just a little bit to me, but yeah, like this picture right here. What do you think?
It looks so 90s.
I mean, I think it looks fine just from the still that we're looking at, but
That's
like
so 90s.
where I was going with like the movies and everything, it's like, after I watched the trilogy, I'm like, I'm satisfied. This is a
don't
good
need anything
story.
more?
I enjoyed it. Yeah, I don't want anything more.
Really?
Man.
And then we got The Hobbit, and then we had that fucking TV series. Can't remember the fucking name of it.
Did anyone
Rings
watch?
of Power.
Rings of Power, that's the one.
Wait, that's a Lord of the Rings thing?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's
Now it makes sense why you were so passionate about it, but hated the fact that it existed.
It's just I am good. I'm good with
Yeah,
the
yeah, no,
movies,
like-
and then they made more supplementary material and everything.
So the podcast I listened to basically broke it down that Warner Brothers owns the Lord of the Rings, like that main Lord of the Rings and Hobbit material, but the supplementary stuff after that, before and after, Amazon. So that's why they continue to pump out stuff. So I think at this point, I think Warner Brothers is trying to like put some goodwill back into Lord of the Rings fans because Amazon, it's kind of like the Marvel and Sony Marvel thing where like Marvel keeps trying to push out good stuff and then Sony's like, but we have Madam Web, or we have Morbius, guys.
We have Venom Horse.
We have Kraven the Hunter.
fucking Venom Horse.
So it's kind of like that, where it's like there are these two companies. They technically both own the same thing, but they're not in the same time period, if you kind of get what I mean. Where like one owns a certain time period, the other one owns a different time period.
Yeah, I suppose I can see where you're going with that. Yeah.
So I think Warner Bros. With this War of Rohirrim are trying to like bring goodwill back in. They're trying to get animated people in. I don't know what they're trying to do with it. I kind of like the art style. I like Lord of the Rings. I like the Shadow of War games. In my opinion, I thought they were fine. I like the Nemesis system.
Yo.
Oh yeah, no, the Nemesis system was cool as fuck. I actually played a decent amount of the first of those games.
Yeah.
And I thought it was a lot of fun too.
The fact that they went out and trademarked that.
Oh yeah, that was just fucking stupid.
They're assholes for that.
No, literally, like they did that, and then they made the second game. They've never used that fucking system again.
They keep threatening us with a Wonder Woman game with a Nemesis system, and I'm just like, how would that even work? What would you?
Yeah, just random fucking dude becomes your arch nemesis because
A random soldier.
like literally, like what? It makes sense in Lord of the Rings because you just have a bunch of fucking
it's a bunch of
goblins
orcs.
and fucking orcs.
Yeah,
and,
just give him a cool title, and
Yeah.
there you go.
But yeah, I am excited for this Lord of the Rings. I will go watch it. If I pay for your guys' ticket, maybe you guys can come with me, but I really do want to watch this.
I've had bad experience with Jose dragging me to movies.
That you have.
Oh, come on. I've gotten, what, 2 out of 6?
What were the two?
Doctor Strange
Yeah, I kind
and
of
Spider-Man?
I kind of enjoyed that. When you didn't drag me to Spider-Man, I was gonna go either way.
Oh.
Wait, which Spider-Man?
No Way Home?
Far From Home?
Yeah, Far From Home. Not as good
yeah.
as Into the Spider. Like
It's about what I expected.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fine.
Okay, superhero, Flash, and then whatever else I've dragged you to. I get those were
yeah,
bad.
Dragon Ball Z's superheroes.
The Flash movie.
Oh, with the androids that were wearing capes and shit. Yeah.
Piccolo, you remember when you used to get big?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh yeah.
You're right, Gohan. I
Orange-
can do that
Orange
again.
Piccolo, Gohan Blanco.
Cell Max.
So
Oh
terrible.
god, fucking Cell Max, dude. Oh.
Okay, but this
Gohan
one might be
Blanco
good.
Calvo. Yeah. it
Worst
might-
case scenario,
Where's
it's
El
mid.
Hermano?
It's worst case scenario, it's mid as fuck.
Where's Jiren at?
El Hermano,
I hope
El
Ji-
Gran Padre.
I hope Jiren better show up in the Lord
When
of
are we
the
getting a
Rings
fucking
anime.
movie with those characters, man? That would be a banger.
Yo, there's got to be a bootleg somewhere.
Shaggy Rojo, Shaggy Verde.
Yeah, there you go.
Plank was in the Tournament of Power. Plank from Ed, Ed, and Eddie.
I can't believe Beast Gohan is a thing, though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's canon.
I can't
and it
fucking
looks
believe
bad.
that.
I'm pretty sure they didn't want to call him White Gohan because I'm pretty sure they knew about Gohan Blanco.
You know what? They should have done that. I'm just
I know.
saying.
They should have called him White Gohan, but
This is such a shame we'll never get Black Frieza or Frieza Negro.
oh yeah.
Uh,
No, it'll be funny if somebody's like, "Wait, are we gonna get Frieza Blanco?" It's like default.
How many
no, he'll
colors?
just be completely white.
How many colors can we make Frieza before it gets old?
Dude, do you guys
Oh,
remember
well.
people called him Laker Frieza because he had this color scheme of the Lakers
Yeah, I can see
with
that.
Golden
See
Frieza?
that.
That's so stupid.
Monkeys.
I know he's fucking Black Frieza in the manga or whatever, and
Frieza Negro.
it's just like,
So okay, all right. Let's move on from Lord of the Rings. You guys were excited for this, and then immediately your hype died. Guilty Gear anime.
Wrong.
oh no,
I'm
I'm still on board. Like, I'll watch it. I'll 100%.
If Biken's not in it, I'm gonna be mad.
I've always wanted to play Guilty Gear, but it's just not one I've ever gotten to.
You don't know Roman Torch cancels?
Nope. I don't know any of them.
The fucking lore of this series is...
There's lore?
There is.
Oh, yeah.
So someone actually made a video discussing the lore of, like, the entire Guilty Gear series. Now, keep in mind, a lot of this is, like, stuff you unlocked in endings and stuff like that for characters. And apparently, it wasn't really well documented. So this guy actually went and played, like, all the fucking games that he could and went through all the different fucking things to make a video about it. It's insane, dude, the fucking story.
Wait, is it as insane or as bonkers as Tekken, or is it even more? Or is it more, or is it tamer?
I'd say it's more wacky than Tekken.
Okay.
Just because, like, literally we're talking about, like, multiple universe shit, and, like, oh man, the backyard is a thing.
What the fuck is the backyard?
That would take a while to explain.
Okay, let's not.
Let's not. The point is that Guilty Gear is insane off the rails, but I think it's great.
It has great character design.
Yeah, and there's plenty of good ass looking characters, and so if they actually make an anime and they, like, go into story shit, I'm here for it. 100%.
Yeah, you got Biken, you got the Yo-Yo Girl.
So who are these two?
Huh?
Who are these two on this cover?
On the left, that's Sin, who is
so edgy.
What, Sin?
Yeah. His name.
He fights with the flag, and he's like a
what?
Yeah, he fights with the flag.
What does the other guy fight with? What's his name?
What, Soul Bad Guy?
Soul Bad Guy.
That's his name.
Or Frederick, for all the people out there that know.
If you know, you know.
So he fights. What was it? Okay, so I believe...
Doesn't he fight like regular Soul?
Huh?
I believe there's two Souls. I believe it's like Soul and Soul Bad Guy. I could be wrong.
No, it's just Soul.
Oh, okay.
Well, he okay, so...
I forgot you were the master on the Guilty Gear lore.
I know enough.
Oh, okay.
I know enough.
He watched that video from that guy.
So I don't... I watched it a few times because I'm just like, I don't know what the story is, and when I tried looking up some other sources, I didn't really get too much
He's the only one that's documented it.
Dude, bless that
He's
man.
the script.
Bless that man,
He's the scripter for...
He wrote the story, actually. You know, he was the ghostwriter for the dude that made it. Soul Bad Guy, he fights with it's a fire sword. I believe it's one of, like, a multiple piece weapon called the Outrage. It's cool. That's all I have to say about that.
Yeah.
These are like the designs I was making with spiky hair dudes in middle school.
And Soul is Sin's grandfather.
Good.
You keep saying Soul Bad Guy.
Yeah.
Soul Bad Guy.
Soul Bad
Yeah,
Guy.
Soul Bad Guy.
That's his name.
Now, is it soul like isn't a soul?
Yeah, like Soul isn't like fire, like SOL.
Oh,
Yeah.
Like the sun.
Yeah, he's a fire guy. Soul and
Piedro
then
de Sol.
bad guy.
I thought you were saying SOUL or SOLE. Now,
it's
the
just
last
SOL.
part,
he's
bad
a-
guy.
Yeah, bad guy.
Bad
So
guy.
apparently, okay, so Guilty Gear is filled with a ton of fucking, like, music references and shit. Apparently, Bad Guy is a Freddie Mercury reference, I guess.
Let's go.
So
Best. It's already a banger.
Freddie
Killer.
Mercury reference. His name is Frederick.
Oh,
you know.
Killer Queen.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, Queen.
if this explains the lore, then I'm totally in. Because
Deadly
Well,
Queen.
Lord knows if it will. Like, I don't even know who that fucking character
This is
on the
the
back there.
Arcane of the Guilty Gear universe. They're
Well,
gonna finally stitch it all together.
Oh,
well,
I would hope.
hopefully. But if this is like an original anime bad guy only, kind of like how what was it, Dragon Ball Fighters? It was like Android 21 is like only canonical.
Yo, Android.
Yeah, Android 21, where fucking it's Dr. Giro's wife, and she has, like, Majin Buu
Boo
cells.
power,
in her.
yeah, whatever.
Yeah, Lord
I'm
knows.
sorry. Am I hearing complaints over there?
It's
Might be.
I got sick of Dragon Ball a while ago. I do not care for any new material.
The Android 21, great design. Good job there.
I mean, it is a great design.
Yeah,
it just
I'm
doesn't
not saying
fit
it's
into,
bad. It's just that,
it just doesn't fit into the lore
I
anywhere.
feel like you guys are just haters, and that's fine. I'll sit over here in the correct corner.
Okay, so I don't know. Did you guys watch? Let's move on. Did you guys watch the Lollipop Chainsaw trailer then?
Nope.
No, but I had heard that they were doing something with it. Which is wild, because Lollipop Chainsaw is fucking old.
Oh man, it's old.
Dude, Lollipop Chainsaw, Suda 51, same guys who did like The Killer is Dead, Killer 7, I think. Fuck, what's the other one? Shadows of the Damned. Yeah, Lollipop Chainsaw. What was the other one? They came out with No More Heroes, those guys. So this is a remake. It's not being done by the original studio. And it's basically a 1-to-1. So let me show you. This is because I played this game before. This is just the same game.
Oh yeah, I played this game too back on the Xbox 360.
Yeah, I played mine on PS3, with my big collection of games.
With your never-ending collection. Oh, you'll get to them one day.
Look, I started Trails of Cold Steel. That's something,
How's
right?
Ninja Gaiden going for you?
I haven't started him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
old man, just look over her skirt.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's a perv. Did you like any of these villain characters though, Salem? I know you.
Okay.
I bet you love Zed. I bet
Okay.
you liked the Viking.
Okay. Yeah, you're correct.
Yelzy.
Lewis. I liked Lewis too. Dude, they all have really good theme songs. Like the music in this game's great.
Yeah.
I can't remember the fucking main villain guy, oddly enough, the dude behind it all, but I just love how much of a loser he is.
Okay, so
I didn't actually finish.
Oh, you didn't? Okay.
a hot take.
Yeah.
This doesn't. Okay.
No, it's not that
Oh,
good.
yeah, no, I mean, like, even back when Lollipop Chainsaw came out, like, it was, like, fine.
So-
Like, look at the skybox on that last shot. It's just blank.
Yeah, so
Oh, yeah.
Suda 51 was like notoriously known for being like a double A studio where they would produce almost triple A quality games, but they would never reach those heights. But they had a cult following, which is why a lot of people see those games in high regard. Plus, Lollipop Chainsaw, that specific game, the script was written by James Gunn, so it already has like James Gunn behind it. It had Warner Brothers behind it. It had Suda 51 behind it, or whatever studio was behind it. So that's why it gained so much hype, because it was like this raunchy, like violent zombie game. So
Like, Lollipop Chainsaw is kind of like, for me, how like Deadly Premonition is for me, where it's like, these games do not look good, but they're fucking weird. And that's, like, kind of what draws me into
Yeah.
I can see it.
Yeah, I mean...
Fucking Deadly Premonition, man. That's a fucking ride.
Oh, it's a ride, man. It's a
That
fucking ride,
game
dude.
is
I love that.
crazy.
They made another game for Deadly Premonition.
Yeah, I heard it didn't hit the same.
Yeah, that's more or less what I heard too, which is a shame. I think it was like a prequel thing as well too.
Oh man.
this?
Dude,
I've
Deadly,
seen
I
it.
fucking love this game, dude. I fucking love this shit. It is so fucking
What's
weird.
his fucking name?
Swery? Or are you talking about the main character?
Yeah, swear he made it, but
Oh, the main character, that's Francis York Morgan.
oh, memories are being unlocked.
Francis York Morgan.
Investigates the murder of Anna Graham.
Yo, I feel like this.
Oh, yeah.
This was like doing what's that really famous game that finally got a sequel? Shenmue. I feel like this does Shenmue better than Shenmue, where like you're driving around and you gotta like go to certain places at certain times.
Yeah, I'd say so. It's also fucking insane compared to what Shenmue's story is.
Yeah. I mean, my boy, fucking, I forget his name, but he's just driving a forklift around for most of that game.
Oh, Rio, I think. Something
Yeah,
like
that
that
sounds right.
So
I've listened to Super Eye Patch Wolf talk about fucking. He did a
Yeah,
fucking
no,
playthrough.
I'm well aware.
Yeah,
I've watched
yeah.
the same videos. That man has a disease. It's okay.
so
One day he'll realize Shenmue isn't a good video game.
well, okay. So sticking with video games as a topic. So
Yeah.
Xbox had its game showcase.
Oh my god, is that another Call of Duty?
I forgot Microsoft acquired Blizzard.
Yep. So do you see that there's going to be like a Diablo, what is it, expansion? The only thing I'm actually kind of excited for is that they are bringing Doom to PlayStation. I thought I was just never going to like get another Doom game on PlayStation, but it's coming to
saying
PlayStation.
Dune or
Doom?
Doom. I keep saying, I was saying Dune at first, but yeah, Doom, the Dark Ages. It's supposed to be set between Doom 64 and the Doom reboot. And it's supposed to explain how he, like, the lore between then.
Oh, don't worry. We gave you a little Elder Scrolls, just tied you over for a bit.
Also, Perfect Dark reboot. I don't know how I feel about that. I'm pretty sure they tried that before.
Yeah, they definitely have tried.
Oh, they're making
Darks.
another Gears of War? Huh.
So,
It's supposed to be a Gears of War prequel, so Marcus is going to be in it. The other guy that died, that everybody was sad about it. Yep, that guy.
damn.
I don't
Sorry.
know if John DiMaggio is going to come back and reprise this role, but I think he is. Also, this Wu Chang Fallen Feathers, apparently the collector's edition has no physical disc in it, kind of like most of the collector's editions nowadays. But apparently, even if you go to the store and buy a copy, like you go get a physical
Yeah, you're
case,
buying like the case in it. Yeah.
you're just buying the case. There's no game in it. It's
Yeah,
just a
download.
digital
What
code.
the fuck?
How do you feel about download code?
It's stupid.
It's dumb.
Just-
it's fucking dumb. Like I want to have the physical fucking thing if I can.
Yeah.
No,
Uh,
that's been removed.
I don't know why they put Sea of Thieves on here. Isn't Sea of Thieves already a game that came out?
It's probably an expansion, if I had to guess. I can't even find
yeah.
it.
I mean,
on
there was
here.
also like Skull and Bones too. I don't know if you're thinking about that or not.
Skull and Bones too. How long will that be in development hell?
For another 20 years.
Dude, Skull and Bones, like, there's going to be, in 20 years, there's going to be a fucking book that was written about the Skull and Bones development, because that motherfucker was in development for like 10 years.
Since Black Flag.
Yeah, it was like right after Black Flag.
I remember being quite young, I think, when I saw the announcement for it, and it just...
Yes, you know. Skull and Bones, like, at the time, it was like, okay, you just want to do Assassin's Creed 4 ship combat? Sure. So we made that multiplayer.
Was E3 still a thing when they announced that? Okay, that explains it.
Fable reboot? Are you guys Xbox guys? Fable reboot?
Fable.
Is the guy that originally made Fable attached?
Peter Molyneux.
No, they kicked his stupid ass out.
Man.
Peter Molyneux is... He ranks up there right with David Cage.
David Cage, yeah. Oh,
failures
man.
are...
David Cage's works are...
Game overs are a failure of the
Starfield
game
expansion, fuck all that. Fallout expansion, fuck all that.
Mecha Break looks pretty cool, actually.
Did you watch the Mecha Break?
So I did briefly see some type of trailer or something for it. It's got sick-ass mechs, like...
I can't believe you're not talking about the most important thing on here, which is the Snake Eater remake.
I was going to say Snake Eater.
Snake Eater? Well,
I
hope it's good.
I'm not too excited for it because Kojima has nothing to do with it. So, and then just by looking at what they've been doing with Silent Hill 2 remake, I just have absolutely no faith in Konami doing remakes.
I've seen a lot of screenshots for the Silent Hill 2 remake and a lot of interesting choices for like the designs of the characters. And
Look,
stuff.
I've tried to tell people not to pirate their media and to be like good people about it, but go pirate fucking Silent Hill 2. There is absolutely no reason why you should be getting that trash remake that is going to come out. You should experience Silent Hill 2 how it was meant to be experienced.
I mean, to be frank with you, if I ever did play Silent Hill 2, I would look for the original if I could. Like, I just don't have any interest for the new one coming out, the remake.
Stalker 2, finally getting a real Stalker sequel, apparently.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys ever played Stalker.
I want to, but I've heard about, like, what a fucking technical mess it can be.
Yeah.
So, you know.
I actually was, like, watching a video on, like, the source material that Stalker's based off of, and apparently it's, like, a bonkers kind of a story.
What, like Roadside Picnic, I think?
Yeah, Roadside Picnic. Yeah, I'm glad you knew the name because I fucking blanked on it. Also, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Come on, we already threw $500 million away like last year.
Are you guys
we doing
excited
it again?
for the Indiana Jones game?
Dude, first person Indiana Jones, that's so weird.
Okay, I'm not either. It is what it is.
Look, if it comes to PlayStation, I might buy it on sale, but other than that, no. Last one, Dragon Age and World of Warcraft.
The War Within.
Oh, they're still making Life is Strange.
Fucking go.
I don't know if the Life is Strange is going to be like I think this Double Exposure is supposed to be a remake of the original.
Yeah, it might be. With a name like that, it probably is. God, I hate Life is Strange.
Also, I don't know what Frag Girl Punk is.
Yeah.
I don't like any of the characters. I don't think the story is very interesting.
You didn't like it?
No.
My brother really
not.
harped on how much he liked the game. I actually walked in one day and he was playing it. I was like, "Have you played this already?" And he was like, "Stop bullying me."
No, one of my siblings, I think, enjoyed it as well. But no, I'm good.
Was Life is Strange like the end of that Telltale Games era? Of branching decisions, like dialogue-ass video game.
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah, now that you mention it.
But it was a
Sounds
Square
like
game,
like
so that's funny.
No, yeah, I know it's not Telltale that made it.
Which is really weird. I wonder if the Life is Strange IP got sold off. I don't know.
I don't know. I do know they made I think 2 or 3 more games. If Life is Strange Double Exposure's like a remake, which it probably is, or a port, something like that. I think they made 4 games in total.
Okay, even with all these games that Xbox has on here, I would not go out and buy an Xbox Series X. Just because like I would never like I have a PlayStation, so I grew up with PlayStation and Nintendo, but like
unless these games are like
I just made a realization. I don't really like playing video games that much anymore. Like, man, I look at most of these titles and I'm just like,
Okay, yeah, that's what I was saying is like I would not like I already have a PlayStation, and Nintendo's all like barely making a dent in my like collection. There's absolutely nothing on here I would like even if I wanted to play Doom really badly, I would not go get a Series X.
Well, probably.
I mean, as soon as I have like internet at my house, I have plenty of games I actually want to play.
I would probably stick some time into The War Within when it comes out, but other than that.
Yeah,
Don't care.
Yeah, like no matter how many studios a Xbox swallows up, like I'm not playing PlayStation because I'm a PlayStation fanboy. It's just the console I just prefer. Like that's the simple of it.
I don't know. If you pulled up a Sony showcase that was similar to this, I would probably look at most of them and go,
no,
don't care either.
Yeah, regardless of like what console.
Yeah, because like if there's something I want and it's not on PC, like I'll wait for it to come to PC.
So that's the thing.
That's
like,
pretty much where I'm at. Like again, like once I have internet and I can like use a PC, that's all I'm gonna care about. Is it on PC or do I have access to it? If not,
yeah, like the last thing that came out that I was remotely interested in was the ripoff like Nier Automata game.
Stellar Blade?
Yeah, Stellar Blade. And until that comes to PC, I'm not rushing to get my hands on it.
Right.
So yeah, that's what I'm saying is like even Sony hasn't been putting out like good showcases lately. So like there's almost nothing I want to play on PlayStation because they've like committed to their studios and the studio like, you know, coming out with 1 or 2 games a year that are like AAA or quadruple A or whatever they want to quintuple A at this point. And I'm not buying game like
they called Sea of Thieves a quadruple A video game.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah.
It's like
that was a bold decision to do that, man.
It's like, why did you say that?
Even Assassin's Creed Japan, like I'm not even excited for that. Like and I've played all of them, so like
the only thing I might be remotely interested in is Dragon Age the Veilguard because it's been a long time since we got a Dragon Age game.
Will you believe me if I said I have all the Dragon Age games but I haven't played them?
Yeah, I think we could believe that. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
But it's also EA, so there's no guarantee that Dragon Age the Veilguard is good.
Especially when BioWare came out with Anthem.
Yeah.
Dude, fucking hell. I remember
you wanted Anthem to be good, didn't you?
I did. Yeah, because it's just fucking cool. Like you get like mech suit, like Iron Man shit, and they all look fucking cool, and they all had like their unique class shit. Like there's like a wizard or some bullshit was one of them, and there's the fucking big tank guy. Like my buddy and I watched the trailer and we're like, this looks sick as fuck. And then it came out, and then it's like,
I'm trying to remember who. I think it was Jason Schreier did a write up where he was like, yeah, Anthem's development was so fucked. Like they had that vertical slice the show at E3, and then
turns out it was just like isn't it like a pre-rendered scene? It's like what Sony did with Killzone 2.
I mean, most of the stuff is pre-rendered, like screenshot. Like they had that, showed it off, got people interested, and then just like sat there and didn't develop the game.
What the fuck do we do?
No, literally, it was like, hey, this thing's shipping in like a year. Are we gonna work on this? And then they were like, yeah, get it into a playable state, like fucking bare minimum.
That's fucking insane.
Yeah,
like
their idea wasn't it like 7 years? They just like dawdled around for like 5 of those.
Yeah, dude.
It was in someone's folder under like a mountain of paperwork, and no one looked at it for the longest time.
Yeah, it's like, man, what were you guys fucking doing for that long?
Let's see what we have done.
Well, apparently nothing.
Motherfucker sitting in the corner was like, I'm getting this paycheck every fucking week. I don't care. I don't care if Anthem is good at all. Probably gonna be like, no. And be like, yes, of course.
Thanks for helping.
Okay. So you want to clap? All right, so there's gonna be a hard stop on that video game talk because the recorder died. So let's just move on to the next thing. We want to catch you up on what we've been on.
The next thing.
So who wants to go first?
Salem.
Who watched something in full?
In full? Oh fuck! I don't know.
Okay. Do you guys want to catch us up on what you've been on, or do you want to talk about something you watched in full? Like I don't know if you guys watched anything in full.
I haven't seen anything in full. I mean, unless you count season 1 of Magi Record.
Yeah, we could talk about Magi Record for a little bit.
Oh, do we want to follow up on last week's like any recommendations, like Magical Girl recommendations? Because I kind of feel like we just kind of ended it because I had to go to work.
Prisma Ilia.
Yeah, Prisma Ilia.
The finest Magical Girl show.
Oh yes, top quality.
I actually really enjoy it.
I did too.
I watched it. If you cut out
the
most
degeneracy.
If you cut out the degeneracy, I'd be like more into it.
It's plenty degenerate, but like I did enjoy the story and everything.
Actually, I have one too, and I watched it just this morning.
Oh, fresh.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you got?
So it's a kind of like it's a parody on Magical Girls. So you talk about it while I find it. I don't remember the name.
Magi Record.
Okay, let's talk about Magi Record.
How about you guys talk about something you guys actually would recommend to somebody, like an actual Magical Girl show that you guys would want somebody to watch?
Madoka. Watch Madoka.
Yeah, Madoka's good.
Branching off that Magi Record.
Yeah, let's get into the main series there, which is Madoka.
I just have a problem where Magi Record doesn't doesn't hit like Madoka hits.
Right.
And I think the characters are fine. Not too many standouts. Also, just the breadth of characters. There are so many fucking characters in that show.
So
Subarashi.
So we talked quite a bit about Madoka Magica last week, and then you guys talked about how you didn't like what is it? Magia Record as much.
So Schirm has more of a defined stance on it because he's watched more than I have at this point.
Right.
He's gotten through just 2 seasons.
Can't believe you got me started and then left me high and dry.
Hey, hey, it's not my fault. Freeren and Magus Bride were calling my name.
Unbelievable. Anyway,
but yeah. So yeah, about that though.
I was gonna say like the Magical Girl show I watched this morning, and I thought it was pretty funny. Also, there's only 8 episodes, but they're 15 to like I think 15 minutes a pop. So it's called Magical Witch Puni-chan. So it's basically a you remember how I was talking about those magical girls from like the 70s and 80s?
Yeah, sure.
Kind of how like they had their tropes. So this is basically a girl from the magical girl world. She goes down to the Earth realm to kind of learn the culture and stuff. But it turns out that her mom's an evil witch who overthrew the original king.
Oh,
and she's also not a princessy type. She will fucking like arm wrestle you to the ground.
Yes.
She will like break your bones and stuff.
I love it already. Okay.
Yeah, her mom is an evil witch. The original princess tries to kill her at a couple points. There is a delinquent girl in the story. They just call her what do they call, like, Anaki is for the male. What is for the female? Anego. Yeah, Anego-san. Anego-san is like what you would call it, like a delinquent female character. There's just a character called Anego-san in that. It's really funny because the mascot character, he's very cute and stuff, but then it turns out he fought the Vietnam War.
What the fuck?
It turns out
the great one.
Turns out that he was the leader of a gang, and the only reason he joined, and he's trying to kill Puni-chan at every turn, but the only reason he like helps her is because she defeated him in combat. So it's a parody on like all these magical girl tropes from like the 70s and 80s.
I love that. It's like you bested me in a contest of strength. I'll listen to you. I'll help you out.
Yeah, she even defeats an elder god at one point, and the elder god runs away.
Well, so how many episodes is the series?
It's only 8. I found it on YouTube.
8. Okay.
I found it on YouTube only, and they're 20 minutes combined, but there's 8 episodes in total technically, but they're like 15 minutes a pop.
Okay. Well, I mean, that could be a nice little thing to watch.
Yeah, it didn't take me long. I thought it was really funny. I thought it was a funny just parody on like the old magical girl trope. So I think that's one people should watch if you want to get like a comedy one out of it.
Sure. I mean, that doesn't sound too bad, especially if it's really condensed down with how short it is.
It's not that bad. So
I want to see her arm wrestling somebody too.
Yeah, she like arm wrestles a bunch of people to the ground. So no, she snaps a lot of bones. So
she actually Oh god, okay.
She snaps a lot of bones. So that's one of my recommendations for magical girls that I just watched this morning. And I think I'm just gonna leave it with that one. Besides Madoka, is there anything other magical girl besides Sailor Moon? Because just watch Sailor Moon, not the original, the reboot, Crystal.
I mean, like,
it's good.
Prisma Ilia is very enjoyable to watch for sure. The only like thing you have to like kind of accept going into it is that like one, there is like a lot of degenerate stuff, so if that's turn off for people, that's part of it, but also like it is part of the Fate like franchise, so like there may be things that you will see going into it that you don't quite understand or recognize. I already watched Fate and shit before I watched Prisma Ilia, so like the classes and all that shit I already knew about.
Yeah.
But no, it was really good. I mean, is there 3
What makes it a
seasons?
magical girl though?
So literally like the classic like magical wands that you'd imagine magical girls to have, like with a star or whatever in it, and it's just this like oversized, it almost looks like a toy.
Okay.
Like literally there are sentient sticks that have their own personalities and everything, and they more or less chooses who wields them basically. So we start off with like 2 characters that if you have watched Fate, you recognize them. They're wielding the sticks, and they literally grant them like a magical girl form. They can perform various types of magic. Like literally, it's like if you can imagine what the spell would be or what it can do, it's doable. It's just that it relies on your own like
limitations of imagination.
Well, limitations of imagination, and also like your inbuilt like mana circuits essentially. So like you can't like cast huge fucking explosions over and over and over and have there not be a consequence, as an example.
Okay.
But no, like they ended up abandoning the first 2 people that wielded them because they were just obnoxious. Essentially, They were fucking tired of
them.
them.
It was Rin and fucking
Luvia.
Yeah, that's right.
So they literally abandoned them. They just fly the fuck
wands?
off. Yeah.
Oh.
The fucking sentient wands were like, these guys are obnoxious as fuck. We're going elsewhere.
Yeah.
And then they choose their new wielders, which are main characters, one of them being Ilya von Eisenberg.
Yep.
So, and then we just kind of go from there, and like the villains, for the most part, are just like possessed beings that are encoded with these like class cards. And if they defeat them, they can obtain that card and basically kind of do a different transformation, I guess.
Yeah.
And they can like wield that card's abilities.
Let me ask you, does this hinge on me knowing the Fate franchise, or can I watch it removed
Not
from
really.
So I'm sure you could. It's just that like
are there like references, or does it rely on stuff that
it's like returning characters that you would know if you'd watch the Fate series. But...
Yeah, like I think, because again, like when I watched it, I already knew about all the Fate shit, so I'm trying to like take myself away from it, talking about Prismalia. You probably could. It's just that like there are, like Schirm said, there's gonna be characters that you'll see and like you have no experience with them, so you're like, who the fuck are they? You know.
If you watch like Zero and Stay Night, you'll be fine.
Oh yeah. That's all you'd really need to like get into it and kind of recognize a lot of shit.
Okay. But do you think Ilya is too contingent on people already having watched Fate? Do you think like somebody who
I don't
doesn't
think so.
even know about Fate?
You could jump in. You just might not enjoy it as much.
Okay.
Yeah, you won't be able to like fully probably appreciate a lot of the stuff in it and like, you know, recognize a lot of these characters you're seeing, but I think you could jump into it and like still get hooked on what's going on.
Oh yeah.
Do you think somebody who went in just as a standalone type of a thing, do you think they would see this as a mediocre kind of a show, or do you think they would like, because
from memory, I genuinely think it is good.
Okay.
Like I enjoyed everything I watched. So
all right,
you know.
Everything. Mana transfers.
Oh, it's debatable.
You said everything.
That's debatable.
I just wanted to check where your head's at.
Oh, yeah. Did you enjoy that, Schirm?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
That was for me.
But yeah, I think you could dive into it. I think if someone was like, hey, this looks cool, and they could dive into it and not have to worry about the fucking messy as hell Fate lore and
the grand Fate lore.
Yeah, you don't have to know about the fucking Grail Wars or something if you were to jump into Prisma. So I think that's good.
All right. And what about you?
Can I talk about how much I hate Symphogear? Is that a topic we can bring up? Can I talk about how much I don't like Symphogear?
Sure. You can detract us from a show. I don't mind that.
Salem's gonna end up watching it anyway because I keep talking about it so much.
Well, I mean, I'm getting a little bit more curious every time.
So Symphogear, like it like starts out as like these are idols, and it's like a random girl in the audience. Something happens to one of the idols. She passes away, and like this all happens in the first episode. So I mean, if me spoiling that takes you off of it, good, because don't watch it. So they're idols. They transform. They do singing. I think the main girl's name is Hibiki. She gets the dead girl's like abilities, so she can transform into a magical girl. They fight like sound monsters.
Okay, that doesn't sound terrible.
And you're like, yeah, this is a good setup. Like everything seems good, and then the story is like weird and doesn't make a lot of sense at some points. It feels like stick with me here. It feels like this was made for a gacha game, but the game doesn't exist. So it's like add additional characters, kind of loosely base a like plot around them. Does the plot make any sense? Doesn't matter. You're here for the characters, but there's no video game to sell you skins in, so I'm confused.
Technically, we need a story to make this an anime. We need something going on.
Like it feels like a weird passion project where some guy was like, yeah, I made cool character transformations. I need an anime to put them around.
Yeah, like what we need, like some type of villain and everything.
So I will say, like, the one thing I can grant Symphogear is each season the transformations change. So like characters like Hibiki have essentially 5 different transformation sequences because you get a new one each season. They're I don't think their outfits change that much.
That's what I was going to ask you. Yeah, like are they still in relatively the same clothes when these transformations
I think
change?
they like slightly like update it from each season to season, but it's not like drastic changes.
Okay, well, I mean, shit, they could have just went the easy route and just kept the same ones.
Yeah, no, because I think my favorite one is Kirika's. I've shown you this so many times.
Oh yeah, it's good.
And I'm pretty sure Kirika's, when she was shown off in like season 2, or when she was introduced, I guess a better way to put it. Hers was different, and season 5, I guess, was when that transformation was my favorite one. It's got a lot of fan service in it. There's just a girl in like a fucking very revealing dress that just has 2 miniguns, and you're like, I know what you're doing. Again, feels like a mobile game, like anime that has no mobile game.
Okay. So it effectively feels like the story doesn't really matter. It's just like, this is a vehicle to show you.
Yeah, it's like at certain points it was like, I'm just gonna suspend my disbelief of anything that's occurring because I'm trying to get through this.
So this is just fan service, the anime again?
It seems like it, yeah.
So then is there any value in it?
No, that's why I tell people to not watch it.
What, Kiriko, was that her name? Her transformation?
Kirika, yeah.
Her transformation's really cool.
A lot of them are very cool. That's what like locked me in, was I was watching a video and it's like, Symphogear this season shows me the transformation sequence. I'm like, okay, that's something.
Yeah, I'll go check that out.
Started season 1. I was like, okay, I like the transformations. Oh, what's going on in this story?
Absolutely nothing. They're just like diddling around, doing nothing, bumbling around.
Yep.
But hey, look at the cool transformations.
Yeah, they sing while they fight. Sometimes the songs are okay. I remember the opening slap.
Sometimes they're okay.
This was my deep dark rabbit hole into, I was making a YouTube playlist of all the openings that I liked, and then I found out that several of them were copyrighted, like couldn't get them in America.
I see.
OP slap, transformation sequences are good. There's not a lot there otherwise.
Okay, purely style over substance.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is the Miyazaki movie of the magical girl universe.
That's a big tell.
Yeah, that's right.
That's a big claim, bold claim.
Bold.
Those are our suggestions and warning, I guess.
You got a recommendation and one discouragement.
I'll co-sign Prisma Ilia. It's really good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kill la Kill. Watch Kill la Kill.
We've already told people to watch Kill la Kill. Sailor Moon Crystal and that one I talked about, Magical Girl Pony-chan. Go watch those. Read I Turned the Wrong Girl into a Magical Girl. That one's pretty funny. All right. So what have we been on this week? I'll start with you, Schirm. What have you been on this week?
Okay, so caught up on Windbreakers. I know you have told me that you were not feeling Windbreakers.
Yeah, no. We watched 3 or 4 episodes together.
4, yeah.
Yeah, so we watched about 4 episodes together, and it's like, I don't think it's bad. I mean, a lot of the character designs are good.
He's trying to climb to the top of Bofa.
His design could use some work.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
Right. But yeah, just it's not hooking me.
It's a real shame, because I feel like the best part just like happens right after you stop.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna tell you have to, but if you're ever sitting there one day and you're like, I need something, revisit Windbreaker, because I promise you there's something there. Like, I was fully with you where I was like kind of not vibing with a lot of the characters. The eye patch guy is cool. The eye patch guy with earrings is cool. The Baji ripoff from Tokyo Revenge,
the long hair dude who's always like hunched over and like in a pose almost.
Yeah, I heard someone say it, and I think it's accurate, this is the Tokyo Revengers that I want, where it's like this was, because man, early Tokyo Revengers, it's just like we pulled up on something happening, and some of those moments were good. Like that one guy, I think he revenged his friend, where his friend got like beat the fuck up, so he stabbed some dude and gets thrown in prison. Like that was compelling, because they're like talking about like, oh well, he was one of the heads of the Manji, like who's gonna replace him, and like there were good moments. I love Draken, Mikey, kind of roller coaster for me. But Windbreakers, it's just like, oh yeah, all these characters, like they're good. I would say they each have their own distinct fighting style. I was kind of hoping you'd want to continue, because there's a dude that's just a fucking grappler, just doing grappling moves. There's a dude that just fucking German suplexes a motherfucker into the dirt.
Now we're talking.
I think his name is Choji. He's the little happy one that's dancing around. He fucking got some sick fucking moves.
Wait, the guy that I don't like?
Yeah, the happy one that fucking torpedo kicked that guy that I showed you.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of them have distinct fighting styles, and it's well animated, well choreographed, storyboarded, whatever you want to call it. Not necessarily choreography, but it's just like really well done. This is the Tokyo Revengers that I wanted.
Okay.
That's Windbreaker. We're 11 episodes out. We got one more to go. They're introducing some newer characters. Like, you remember that motherfucker that was just doing pull-ups?
Oh,
in
the workout guy?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He gets introduced. He's pretty good. Not mad at him.
Okay.
There's a pink-haired guy.
Oh, with the hair clips in his hair?
Yeah.
Yep.
He gets introduced. Pretty cool.
Oh, yeah. And that's the thing, too. A lot of the characters, I think, have pretty good designs. Besides fucking Sakura, our main boy.
Sakura Hakura.
Yeah.
Gonna be the top of Bofrin. Anyway, so Windbreakers I watched. One Piece, fuck, what happened?
Spoilers?
Sure, spoilers. We're on
By the way, if you're watching Windbreaker,
No, spoilers for One Piece.
we're in Egghead. I won't say too much because honestly I don't remember much. It's like the episodes are that badly paced sometimes where it's like, was that last week or was that this week?
Ooh, okay. It's like that.
We're coming up to some big fights between major characters. Like, I think we have sent this to a friend of mine because he was asking me. He's like, "Oh, what's next?" And I'm like, "You got Luffy versus Lucci, that happened. Kiji comes back. He's fighting against I think it's Law. Trafalgar Law and Blackbeard fought each other. Kobe gets in the mix. I think Garp's there. Like, big fights are gonna start happening. It's just kind of a waiting game at this point, and with One Piece's pacing, it could take a little bit. Still good. I still enjoy it. It's like, man, these episodes need to be like fucking 40 minutes for me to get anything out of this week to week.
I just love the idea that like multiple episodes could go by and we're just kind of trudging along with the anime's pace.
Yeah, it's like it's gotten to the point, especially Oda's put out some bigger stuff, and I'm keep having to avoid spoilers. Where I'm just like, I should just read and catch up again, because like this was the point where I stopped reading, was when we got to Egghead, and a little bit after that, like a year ago now. So I might like just sit there and read it all, catch up.
Do you have a rough idea of like how many chapters you're behind at this point?
I think he normally sits about like 40 or 50 chapters ahead of the anime.
I'm 200 something behind.
Yeah.
Have you been reading One Piece at all recently?
Not since
I know you were
I
taking
finished,
a break, right?
Not since I finished Whole Cake Island. I was so done with that arc. I was like I know a lot of people, like even him, he like say Whole Cake Island is a good arc. I was like, fuck it. I didn't like it.
Oh, you just flat out didn't like it.
I'd put Whole Cake Island in like my top 3 or 5 arcs in One Piece.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, so the way like it's weird because like he puts it in top 3. I honestly think it's awful. I did not like it at all.
He hates Sanji's backstory, that's why.
I don't care. Like,
oh, the Vin Smoke family stuff.
That's
and everything?
right.
I didn't care for all that. Like, it's not that I hated his backstory. It's just like I already got it once. Like, you're like giving me more backstory on him, which I don't care for. So it's I don't know. Like, I didn't care for the whole Vin Smoke saga. I didn't care for the whole like Big Mom saga. Like, I could have gotten a little bit more backstory on her, which is what I got, and that was fine enough. But like the whole plot about like making the cake, I could have done without. The whole part about like the Rangers, I could have done without personally. The Vin Smoke family, don't care. So it was just a trudge for me personally. But I know a lot of I'm gonna get hate for it, but because there's a lot of people that fucking love that arc. I just didn't care for it.
So there were just a lot of things going on in this arc that you just weren't really interested in exploring.
Correct.
Okay.
It had like I absolutely had nothing. Like, it had nothing for me. Like, it was absolutely nothing for me. It was a nothing arc for me. It was just like I got Big Mom's story, which I kind of wanted.
Let's say Big Mac.
I got the Big Mom backstory, which I wanted to go into the Kaido fight, because I want to know like her backstory, and I'm pretty sure we get more backstory for her, from what I understand. And so it was just like the whole cake part, like I could have just done without. It might have been like the whole Disney-esque, like everything is alive, that I didn't care for. Like, do you know what I'm talking about?
How like
The trees are alive, the houses are alive. I don't know.
I mean, that set up Big Mom's power. So.
Right.
I was just about to ask if that's because of her devil fruit.
Yeah.
'Cause I know how her devil fruit works, but
Yeah, but like I don't know, it got annoying to me. Like, it just did not do anything for me. It wasn't an arc I enjoyed. Like I've said before, like I think I may have enjoyed the arc prior to this, which was like Punk Hazard. No, that's way back. What was prior to that? Dressrosa. I enjoyed Dressrosa quite a bit. I enjoyed Punk Hazard quite a bit. I've said this before, which I think is your least favorite one. The Impel Down and Marine Ford one was like my highlight.
Not that it's my least favorite. It's just it was overhyped for me
Yeah,
more than anything.
But I had no hype or anything about it for me when I went in. So like when I went in, it was like I went in, I was like, yo,
dude, Bon Clay?
Yeah.
Bon Clay's the homie. You remember that motherfucker that dresses in a tutu with swans on?
How could I forget, actually?
Did you know that he's one of the best characters in fucking One Piece?
He's one of the best. Yeah.
I did not know that.
So I enjoyed that. So like this whole Cake Island arc just kind of like dampened me for a little bit. So I'll have to pick up One Piece back up when I'm just like feeling it. Like I'll have to, because every now and then I get the surge to, but I just don't pick it up. So one of these days when I get the surge to pick it up, I'm gonna have to just start reading. But I'll let you guys know at that point.
I mean, I get what you're saying, because like, I mean, like what, Chain Soldier as an example?
Yeah.
Like I read up to 125, I think. I don't want to. Are you planning on reading?
You're fine.
Okay. Well, spoilers for Chain Soldier, the manga, then.
Yep.
So when Rairen dies,
Yeah.
like that, I was like, I think caught up at that point.
Spoiler.
And then I just like took a break, and since it's bi-weekly, like just time passed for me. So
Yeah.
you know, dude, Rairen's transfer looks so fucking cool, dude. He's so cool. I love him.
Can't look cooler than fucking America Star with wings and huge titties.
Cooler.
Impossible.
Yeah.
Does he turn into a hot lady?
No.
Mm.
Okay. It's
misses
so
the
cool,
mark
man.
with me then.
Yeah.
Unfortunate.
But no, I loved that. I'm sad that he died. But after that, I have no idea what goes on after that. Are you caught up with Chain Soldier?
Yeah. I
Okay.
read the newest chapter today.
What are they up to now, chapter wise?
Give me one sec.
It's like it has to have been like, I think, months at this point. So
yeah,
at least 130, something like that. So I don't know. In any case, but I get what you're saying though, because like I binged the fuck out of Chain Soldier when I decided to read it one day. Like I got through all of it in I think like 2 or 3 days.
134.
134. Okay, so I'm a little behind, but yeah, I get it. So in any case,
Yeah.
That's okay. You can binge it again. You have like 12 chapters to read.
Yeah,
Popping off.
Yeah, good.
Well, what I watched, We Never Learn, but then I found out that there's like supplementary, like there's chapters in an anime, and I kind of don't want to go back and read it, but I just kind of went on the wiki to find out like how it ends, and it just tells me like how if he chose any of the women, like how it would end. So it's like if he chose like the swimming girl, he'd be long distance until they can get together. The one that's good at writing but bad at math, I think they'd both be teachers or something. So I was like, okay, cool. Kind of ended like a wet fart for me, but apparently the manga ends a little better, but then you'd get like 6 endings, and I was like,
So learning that there's these multiple endings
kind of rubbed me the wrong way.
And also watching the anime, you just didn't feel like you wanted to dive in. And
no, because like I was enjoying the anime as it is. So the fact that it kind of ends kind of it kind of felt rushed at the end. I felt like, this is it. I went to go look it up. Turns out there were a couple of chapters they just didn't animate because they didn't want to bother giving every girl their own like OVA route, I guess.
Right. Let's just have an individual episode with each one of the girls.
Correct. So I was like, okay, whatever. And then because you started Freerun, I started watching Freerun. Schirm also watched Freerun. You said you're up to episode 8.
Yeah, I think about episode 8 on Freerun, yeah.
So spoilers, Freerun, this is a spoiler talk, up to episode 8. What do you think?
Oh, I love it. Like literally first episode I watched, I was just fucking hooked, and then I just started watching more of it.
Does it feel to you kind of like, hey, this would be Lord of the Rings after after
they beat Sauron?
Sauron, yeah, after Sauron is beat.
Not really, no. Because I mean, like, I don't know. Lord of the Rings endings. There's a lot more going on.
Okay, sorry. Does this feel like any JRPG where you beat God and then you just go back to daily life?
Dude,
the anime.
I wish I played a JRPG where I could experience that. Like fucking like SMT.
Yeah.
Like you fucking defeat Yolte Volte or whatever, and then you just go back to normal life. And
yeah,
you're just
like,
well, what the fuck do we do
now? You go back
now?
to take studying for your end of year class.
Like, well, time to get a job.
How did you feel about that first episode, Schirm?
It's really good. The emotional beats hit really well. I will say I really enjoyed Freeren's character, like I watched it in English, just because I was doing something on the side. I was still paying attention.
Yeah, he wasn't washing any dishes.
Yeah, he doesn't wash dishes.
My
He
dishes
actually
are
pays
over there. If I gotta watch something, I'd have to put it on the big TV. That's a lot of work. Anyway, I fully expected, like, as soon as she started talking, I'm like, this is gonna be a small child or like teenager, and then it was just a full-on Dami Mami voice in English, and I was like, yeah, that makes sense.
I did watch a clip or two with like actually hearing Frieren speak in English, and not what I expected at all. And I don't even think it's bad.
Yeah, it kind of throws you off, but like fits makes sense with her character being as old as she is.
Yeah.
Do I bring up the Himmel thing where I just don't get it?
Yeah, he doesn't get Himmel.
Go for it.
I just don't understand why like people are glazing Himmel so much. He seems like such a nothing or milquetoast-esque character.
Well, so like with the glazing and stuff you're talking about, so like is it just from like the that story that we had heard about?
Yeah, it's like
what Himmel would have done.
It's what Himmel would have done.
You know what? I'm gonna name something right now. I'm gonna name that guy the patron saint of the pod and then we'll keep adding patron saints till we can no longer keep up.
It's like if that story would have came out and it would have been like, I did what Kirito would have done. I did what fucking any character would, like, it just does nothing for me.
Dude, that's so wild. This is what Kirito would have wanted. Yeah.
It's like that's literally about as much like character I'm getting from Himmel in the first 12 episodes I watched. I mean, the little like flashback points are fine. Like I don't hate this character.
We should probably make that clear too. Like, so how far are you guys? Like 12
Done.
episodes?
He's done.
You're done?
He's done.
Jesus
I'm 12
Christ,
episodes in.
And I'm about 8.
Yeah, and I'm not going to talk about things that you haven't seen. But just like, I don't hate this character. This character's so fine, but not in that way.
So he's
so like plain and boring, and it's just, it doesn't do anything.
He's too plain. He's too safe. There's nothing that really stands him out, so you don't get the glazing, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Aizen's great.
Yeah.
10 out of 10 on that one. I always forget his name because they pronounce it weird, but the corrupt priest.
Heater. Yeah.
Hider.
I see the way it's written, and I want to say it's like hater, but like, 'cause it's HEI, but it's heater or something like that.
Whenever I see his name, I want to add a T to it. I want to add like a HITEL with the funny mustache man, but I know that's not his name. I know they're trying to go for like a kind of...
This is not where I thought this conversation was going.
Nor I.
Well, okay. When I see his name, for some reason, my brain wants to go funny mustache man from World War II. And I don't know why. It might just be because it's so German-like. But look, anyways, that's just my acoustic coming out.
I mean, hey, when I heard Aizen's name, the dwarf, who'd you think I thought of?
Okay, hear me out.
Yeah.
I was thinking about this, not necessarily related to Frieren, but like adjacent. Do you feel like he changed the name of the characters? Like, because to me, when I heard the name Himmel, I thought, oh, that's the dwarf. And then Aizen is like, seems like you would pick blue-haired boy, hero man.
I mean, I can see where you're coming from.
It's just like a weird thing that I was thinking about.
Oh, were you saying kind of like how they did for Street Fighter, where they're like, let's just like, they did like the rotation on like Bison, Vega, and Balrog. So Balrog in Japan is technically, technically M. Bison.
Wait, seriously?
Yes, because
that's fucking weird.
You got to remember that the boxing guy, it was modeled after Mike Tyson.
Oh, that that makes sense, but that's just so weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they just kind of did a flip, a switcheroo on all three characters. Yeah. Okay. Anyways.
That's an interesting little like mind.
I see where he's kind of going with it, like where all these characters technically like would
like
probably
Himmel just screams like dwarf name to me.
Yeah.
And then Aizen screams like, I'll watch Bleach. I like big main character boy. Name him Aizen. In any case, that's not that doesn't bother me at all. The only thing that I've told everyone here about is like the constant like going back to, well, we're gonna be like, for an example, we're gonna be stuck in this place for 2 years. No big deal, because I'm an elf, essentially immortal for the purposes of this story.
Yeah.
And it's like, I understand, like, this is a big thing. Like, this is most of what Frieren seems to be about at this point, is like, time passes very slowly for her, while other characters, it's, big chunks of their life. I don't need to be reminded that often. I got it. Like, 5 years, okay, Frieren, you don't need to say, no big deal. It's like, no, I know it's a long time for the other characters and nothing for you. Like, that's my only like minor nitpick about Frieren so far is like, you don't need to tell me all the time.
I mean, that's fair. Like, when I was watching the show to where I am now, like, a small part of me was like, oh, okay, they are like, commenting on like how 2 years or a mere 80 years, something like that, right?
Yeah,
like with
it's
the
like,
ball.
I mean, even in like when we move from location to location, it's like 28 years after the passing of Himmel, the hero.
Oh, does that bother you?
No, it doesn't bother me. It's just like, it's constantly there. It's constantly being shoved in your face that like, there's a lot of time that passes and it doesn't affect Frieren, but it affects everyone else in the party.
I think I do like that though, because there will be times when Frieren and like she goes like it's what Himmel would have done, or like it's what the hero would have done. Like not just Frieren says it, but like also red-haired boy. What was his name?
Oh, Stark.
Stark.
So yeah, like even Stark would sometimes like model himself after Himmel, and like because there's so many years removed from like when the Demon Lord was defeated, and then there's so many years removed after Himmel's death, he's kind of become like he's becoming a folk hero type character where like people like nobody but Frieren knows what he was actually like. So I do like that everyone like sees Himmel as like this altruistic kind of hero, but then Frieren tells him like yeah, but like he would get mad at me, so that's why I act like I do now.
Okay, it sounds like a major thing. I'm not like sitting there every episode going, man,
fuck Himmel,
stop
I hate that guy.
Stop like telling me it's been 80 years. Like, it's not that. It's just like, I get it. You don't. But it's like when Frieren does it, because it's like arbitrary amount of time gets like proposition to the party.
It's when Frieren is like openly acknowledging like, oh, a mere 2 years or whatever.
Like literally just her doing it.
Okay.
Because everyone else is like 5 years. That's a long time. And then she's like, whatever.
I got you. I mean, I know where you're coming from on that. The only thing I could really say on that is like, it just doesn't bother me that much, but I do know what you mean.
Yeah, it doesn't even bother me that much. It's just like that little tiny nitpick in a otherwise fantastic show so far. Also, do you know what happens in episode 10? Well, obviously you know, but like scroll down, maybe you can. It doesn't really show it. That scene with Ara and Frieren, that was so well done. Like the sword cutting the hair as it's like happening, and then man.
Oh, you're talking about when Aura's like, I don't know what you say, like slaves or contractees, whatever, like the bodies are like going to attack her.
No, but I don't want to spoil you.
Okay.
Because it's a really good moment. I just was like, in any other anime, this would have been like Flash, like the sword moves positions, there's a big swipe, and that would have been it.
Yeah, the illusion of
in this, it's like a character is holding the sword to their neck, like their hair is like coming off because the sword is sharp, and then like it happens, and it kind of happens off screen because I mean it's not a gory show by any means.
Yeah, I did like that.
It's just like the attention to detail there is really nice, when in any other anime it just would have been like sword swipe, character's head's gone.
Yeah.
I also do like that if you kind of take a look in this thumbnail right here for episode 10, Frieren and Flamel are just kind of walking through a town. But what I notice is that because it is almost 1,000 years prior to when the actual story begins, we are looking at it through the lens of like somebody who lived 1,000 years ago, and it's just kind of like the Roman culture of what the Roman civilization would have been at that time, kind of compared to like where we're at in the story. It's kind of like the Dark Ages, the Middle Ages, where it's like you got to remember only 1,000 years ago, where it's like if we think about time, it's like in the 1500s, it's like we were in the Middle Ages, while in the during the 500 Roman era DC or AD, like the Roman Holy Empire was like the biggest thing around. So I do like that attention to detail where it's like you got scrolls when Frieren and Flamel are kind of walking around, and then you have books and grimoires. How do you say that word?
Grimoire.
Yeah, grimoire. They have like grimoires when she starts looking for them.
I never noticed that, but it is a good detail.
That does sound really nice, actually.
So I like that because I'm not. Never mind. But yeah, anyways,
never mind. We're going to current day. They're going to be on iPads and tablets.
I can't wait till Frieren's like being like, man, I can't search up the grimoire I need. Better go find it. Anyways,
I can't find this doujin anywhere.
So I mean, this is like when we first started the podcast in our 2 lost episodes, I was talking about how like I should be watching Frieren. I'm sad that I didn't get to it at that time. This is such a great, neat show.
Okay, so we had this conversation, I think it was last weekend when we were driving home from the pod. I actually prefer the opposite, where when something's this good, this talked about, I enjoy the fact that I can sit down and just say, all right, well, the next 6 hours, 12 hours of my life are just going to be Frieren. Like, I enjoy the fact that I wouldn't have had to wait week to week. Like, I could imagine the blue balls I would have had between episode 9 and episode 10 when the big thing, like, the thing happens between Aura and Frieren, where I'm just like, fuck, you really cut it off right there, didn't you? You motherfuckers, I gotta wait a whole fucking week for this bullshit. It's not bullshit, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, you would get upset because it's so good. Like, you just want to keep
it does feel
going.
like the episodes like kind of fly by, at least to me. So like you're saying, Schirm, if I had to wait week to week, yeah, it would drive me fucking nuts.
Here's an example, because I don't want to give a further example. When Stark was talking about how like he was too afraid of the dragon, and then like he beats it, and I went to go be like, oh, better queue up my go to next episode, because gotta skip those endings. And it was only halfway through the episode. I was like, holy shit, we still got more to go. And then they just start traveling. I was like, huh, it moves it does not move at a snail's pace. It moves. We're not just like here to like exposit or give 37 reaction shots to one thing. It's like we're kind of moving, we're kind of going.
Yeah, One Piece was great when I started, because I could just sit there and watch One Piece when I wanted for as long as I wanted. Now it's a fucking tragedy, my brother. Get drip fed these fucking episodes.
So far, me personally, I give Frieren a high 9, like a solid 9. It is not moving from that 9 for me anytime soon, at least this current season. When you guys are done, you should guys let me know, but
I'd give it an 8 right now.
I mean, yeah, once I finish it, like, we'll talk about it, of course.
Yeah.
But
From what I've seen, it's an 8 so far.
Yeah, people have glazed it quite a bit, but there's also been lots of criticism. I don't know. There's quite a bit I dislike about it, but I think this story in and of itself, just about like living such a long life and then having 10 years of a significant amount, like what did she say, a tenth of a lifetime?
Yeah, because I think 100 years is like a tenth.
She said something like it was
like 1/100th,
barely like a tenth of her lifespan or something like that. I think something like that.
And the fact that those 10 years have kind of like influenced her moving forward, and she wants like all this other stuff that kicks off this specific story. Like like there's a lot in there I like. There's quite a bit I dislike. It's kind of like Madoka, where I wrote down all the stuff I disliked. But if I did this for this show, you guys would think like I absolutely hate it, but I don't. Like I give it high praise. But it's just one of those things where it's like there's quite a bit in here that you're just gonna be like falling into a trope, or falling into you're kind of pandering to a specific like thing. So it'll just all depend on, I guess, the viewer and how they feel about it. Whoops. That's just my opinion.
Without tabs closing and windows closing.
The thing that I like realized probably about 5 or 6 episodes in is like, I think she was talking about like the time thing where time moves faster for her. I was like, oh yeah, best way to think about this would be like that 10 years would probably equate to like a year for her, whereas everyone else, it was like a major portion of her life, or major portion of their lives, whereas for her it's just like fucking next year.
Yeah,
it's like it's weird. Like if humans had the kind of lifespan that like she theoretically has, would we see things in a similar way where we're like, oh yeah, fucking 2014, that was like last fucking year, man? Or
it's like dog years, where it's like that dog spent their whole life with you, but you will still outlive it.
It's like that realization when like someone brings up like a game or a show that you really like but haven't thought about too much, and you're like, oh man, that was fucking good, and then you hear what year it's from and you're like, holy shit.
When you hear some kid go, oh, that's that old game.
It's like me realizing that Shrek is now 23 years old, and I'm like, oh fuck, I'm old.
You remember when you first watched Shrek, where you were at?
I think my favorite thing ever was like 2019. I saw a meme that was like, Shrek is now old enough to be a porn star, and I'm like, oh fuck,
that's good to know.
That was a long time ago. Fuck, man.
It's one of so time is a curse, and Frieren kind of shows you the mortality of it. I mean, I really like that part of it. I've heard kind of like behind the scenes stuff where it's like Frieren was originally gonna be a whole different beast and stuff like that, but it's whatever.
I enjoy that this is like a not slice of life, but like just a general adventure where it's like we're kind of just going places to do things. Like we'll do some side quests along. Another point I was going to make was, I was thinking about this watching it. It's like, this is what I wish that fucking Ulterior Ryza show was.
Oh, Atelier?
Yeah, where they're just like wandering around together and they're like doing side quests.
They stay on that island.
Yeah, it was like so like I feel like the showrunners were like, well, we want to make it like the video game. Make sure and keep as much of the video game stuff in as possible. And it's like, no, you don't need to do that. Like you can like make a more coherent story out of it.
With the game, when they're on the island, is that like the tutorial area? It's not
the whole island. So sorry about this, but I think we're gonna have to wrap it up here. These batteries are dead. This thing is dying, and I didn't bring the wire for it. I mean, is there anything else you guys have been watching that you kind of want to quickly
real quick? Ancient Magus Bride. Okay, I was watching this on the side with Freerun. The first 3 episodes, which is like an OVA, were great. It was about our main character Chise's childhood and her experience with like being passed around by family members because no one wants her, that type of thing. Very good. Start watching the main season 1. I'm about 6-7 episodes into that. Bone Man Elias is cool. I'm interested in the romance, but not too much story wise, like where they're going and everything has really like caught me like Freerun did.
Okay.
So,
what about you?
That's
I've been watching the Demon Slayer Hashira training arc. It's fine. It's so like this needed to be a movie. Like if anything needed to be a movie,
it should have been that.
It wasn't fucking Mugen Train. It was this.
No, just wrap it up,
dude. Yeah. You could have pounded this out in an hour and a half and been fine. Anyway,
it's not that long. I basically said everything I did. Freerun, the Magical Girl, Puny Chan, Bokuden, and I'm playing Trials of Cold Steel. So that's basically all I did this week. Besides that, thanks for tuning in again.
Yeah.
I keep having these technical difficulties. These batteries are about to die. I should just get a wire that's long enough to connect to this computer. Anyways, thanks for coming back. Hopefully we can gain some traction here. I'll make some videos, hopefully some point soon. And you guys got anything else to say before we dip?
Nope.
That's about it.
All right. Well, take care.
Adios.
Bye.